Stubbsy, this is the first Battleborn. I know very little about it, but I do know this is Gearbox's first, I suppose, first proper IP, discounting, Alien, what was the name of it? Colonial Marines, which was weird in its development. I don't know, there was about 45 studios involved in that. Nobody knows who took the reins, really. But this is Gearbox's first proper thing since the original Borderlands, and I want to know everything about it that you're allowed to tell me. So, Battleborn, what is it?
Well, I kind of went into it thinking that it was a first-person MOBA type thing, because that's kind of what all the advertising so far has sort of tried to make it look like.
But you're going to tell me it's not that?
Well, it kind of is and it isn't. When I was playing it, I got to play 2 modes, and the first one that we played it felt really like TF2, because it was basically, there's 3 control points on the map, and you've basically got to stand on them to control them, kind of like Domination in Call of Duty.
Okay.
And I was playing as a class that was I can't remember what it was called, but I was playing as this character that was basically bog standard, had a gun, could throw grenades and shoot stuff, and that was about it. So I kind of played that, and it felt really like TF2. And I was playing next to a developer who was sat next to me, and I sort of turned to him and went, I thought this was meant to be more MOBA-y. And then he didn't seem impressed that I used the term MOBA, because I think they're trying to avoid that. But
oh really? Right. Okay. Well, because that's my understanding. I thought I'd actually seen, a first-person shooter come MOBA in marketing and whatnot. What are they kind of pushing it as?
I don't really know what they're pushing it as. But what I said when I first spoke to him, and he was like, "Oh, what are you expecting?" I was like, "Well, I play a lot of Dota, and I'm kind of expecting this to be Dota Light."
Yeah.
And he wasn't impressed with that either. So I think they're trying to avoid comparisons to your hardcore MOBAs. But
so where does the MOBA comparison come into play? So
the second mode that we got to play, and I'm not sure how many modes there is, but the second mode was much more MOBA-like. The map structure was slightly more MOBA-y, and basically the idea is that waves of minions will spawn. You will have a wave and they will have a wave, just like in a proper MOBA.
Mm-hmm.
But you have got to get, instead of destroying their base, which isn't a thing, you've got to get your minions to this meat grinder or something. And the more minions that you manage to get to this grinder, the more points you get, and the team with the most points wins.
So it's not destroy the other person's tower or whatever.
No, it's just get your minions to their side of the map basically, and stop their minions from getting to your side.
So is there no real kind of contact between both teams? There's no.
Yeah, in there you're fighting. You're still fighting. That's where the MOBA comparison comes in, because you've got to. If you kill the other players on their team, then obviously they're not there to protect their minions, so then you can kill their minions and push yours forward.
Yeah.
Kind of like you would in a normal MOBA, except the end objective isn't to knock down a building, it's to push your minions into a grinder, which is a bit weird, but that's where the comparison comes in, and that's what I was expecting it. Well, that's not necessarily what I was expecting it to be all the time, but that was kind of what I anticipated it more being being more MOBA. But it kind of surprised me that the first game mode was nothing like a MOBA. If you just played the first game mode, you wouldn't have a clue that you could even call this a MOBA. There would be nothing MOBA-like about it. You would just say, "Oh, this is Team Fortress 2 with a few more characters."
What do you mean when you say that?
It's you've played TF2 before, right? And
yeah,
you one of the core game modes of TF2 is you run around and there's control points, and the red team has to get the control points, and then they do that sort of stuff. But Team Fortress 2 has 5 characters, I think.
I think so, yeah.
And so it would basically be the same as that, apart from there's I think we got to try 15, and I think there's going to be 20 or 25 characters.
Well, I suppose that's more MOBA-like, I suppose. The idea of having the tons of these characters. Did you get any? I suppose we should say you didn't get to play all of the game, but of what you've played, did you see anything relating to any type of microtransactions, buying characters? Does it follow that same pattern as a Dota or a League of Legends or anything like that?
I honestly have no idea. Like, the build we was playing didn't show any of that. It was just like, here's the characters that are unlocked, you can choose which one to pick. I would be surprised if you have to buy characters outright, purely because...
Is it free to play?
That's a good question.
Okay.
I don't know.
Pretend I didn't ask you, that's all. But go on with your thought.
Like, it would be weird if you did have to buy the characters, because it seems like they want, or at least it feels like they want you to experiment with them, because they are all really different. And so it would just seem weird that they would make you pay when one of the things they are pushing is the fact that there is so many different characters and they're all unique. But again, I suppose League does that. Like,
do you get any sort of Borderlands-ish vibe off of it?
The shooting wise, it does feel quite Borderlandsy. With a couple of the characters that I played, like sort of your bog standard assault rifle men, they kind of felt pretty Borderlandsy. And when you shoot people, you've also, I think it tells you, it's like got the damage numbers coming out of their character, just like it happens in Borderlands, just not quite as noticeable. It did feel it feels, if you played them both, you would be able to identify that this is probably by the same guys. But at the same time, it's like Borderlands was Borderlands because of the art style and the RPG elements, whereas this is not like that, really.
I don't know. Did you like it? I'm trying to kind of read what you're kind of saying. Like, did you have fun with your time with Battleborn?
I did have fun. My only concern is that there is a hell of a lot of similar games coming out or in the works, and I don't know if this has got enough unique selling points to make it better than them. Like, you've got Overwatch from Blizzard, which is Blizzard, so that's going to do well. Microsoft's got their gigantic thing, which is like a MOBA-y, first-person-y, third-person-y type thing. And then you've got your traditional MOBAs, and there's like Smite, and then there's Team Fortress 2, which is also quite similar to it. So I think it's kind of launching into a crowded area, and I think it might get lost.
I know, obviously, like these games, they live and die by their audiences because of it being multiplayer focused. But there is a single-player mode in this, isn't there?
There is. I'm not entirely sure what... Well, I don't know if it's single player, but I know there's a co-op thing.
Okay.
I think I got to play that at E3, where I think it was me and 4 other people had to guide like this massive tank thing to a specific location, which was kind of your bog standard escort mission for a shooter.
Oh, fun.
So that's not going to be the appeal of the game. The only appeal of the game, from what I've seen, is going to be the multiplayer side of things. And again, if that doesn't keep a decent audience, then it could end quickly. But hopefully, it was good fun. So hopefully, it will do all right.
Lovely. Stubbsy, I'm guessing when people are watching and listening to this, they can read your thoughts on the site via a preview.
There will be something, hopefully, on the site. Whether it's a traditional preview or not, it might be something a little different. Because I've got a good idea, but you know.
I'm intrigued, and I'm sure you, viewer, are also intrigued. So yeah, there's Battleborn, which isn't out until February of next year, so something to just kind of whet your appetite.
There is a beta, the game.
There is a beta. When is this beta?
I think starts on the 28th of October, I think. Whether that's an open beta or you have to get an invite, I'm not entirely sure, but you could look into that. You do that, listener, viewer, person. Thank you very much, Stubbsy. Thank you for watching, and of course, like and subscribe, like and subscribe, and Patreon, and website, and Facebook, and Twitter, and all those things. You know, because that's what people say at the end of their YouTube videos. So we're going to say that as well. Look, I already have. Great. Say goodbye, Stubbsy. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye. Say goodbye, Stubbsy. Goodbye, Stubbsy.